I know you was telling me how you had an issue with some of these celebrities celebrating when Diddy beat the Rico, like Boosie and Ray J. What was your issue with that?
Well, they forgot. The same people that you just mentioned, Ray J and Boosie, they was talking about him like a dog after they seen the fact that he had beat Cassie like that. So they forgot about the mentality of this dude. Now, I can see as a black man, whereas other black men, they see that the government lost something that they really wanted. If they really wanted, and we'll get into that later. But black men are saying that, yo, he beat the Rico, and they saying they celebrating that. And people like Boosie and Ray J, who denounced him and was saying he was foul for doing that, they probably just celebrating the fact that the government lost that part of the battle. But when the government lose that part of the battle, you understand, they lose a lot of other things, bro. They lost a lot of other things. And in losing those other things, it gave people an opportunity to celebrate something that wasn't even real. The way they did this whole case and how they did this whole case, my man, they didn't want to put this dude behind bars. They didn't want to get this guy a lot of time. All that shit was a facade. So these dudes that's celebrating him, they gotta watch what they celebrate because people will look at him as if, yo, you celebrating a woman beater. You celebrate a sexual deviant. It ain't just what this dude do in his bedroom. It's how he treat the people around him. You celebrating all that crazy stuff. And then by you having a platform and people see that, they take it and they run with it. Like this dude wasn't a criminal. So I think they were foul for even giving that type of attention when they knew, in fact, that people could look at them and a whole and saying that, damn, they happy for Diddy that he won. And they're not really happy for him. They just saying that. But behind the walls, behind closed doors, they not happy. They probably don't even give a damn. But it looks good in the camera. It looks good for the camera for you to sit up there and praise somebody who have been getting away with doing a lot of shit behind the scenes that he's done. You understand? So I don't like the fact that they praise him because it makes it seem like they agree with all the shit that he's done. It makes him seem like they agree with all the shit that he's done. I don't believe behind the scenes, low key, they even give a fuck about him, to be totally honest. They don't really give a fuck about him, but then that's what looks good right now. Oh, he beat the Southern District. He beat the Rico. He beat the racketeering. Yeah. That's my man now. That's your man? All right. I guess you waiting for him to bust off on you too. Because that's what your man do to other men. That's what he around. That's what he like. But that's your man.
I want to go back to a comment you made earlier that caught my attention. You made a comment saying that this trial was a facade. What makes you feel that way?
Listen here, bro. Everybody know if you ask people, the prosecution could have gave Diddy 10 years right off the scene. Now, his lawyer and them is trying to say that was the security company weapon that he hired, that they had those weapons in Diddy's room. Bruh, would no motherfucker in the jury pool would have believed that story. Ain't no security company, and I've worked for them before, going to scratch off serial numbers to automatic weapons. So now, If they wanted to give Diddy 5 to 10 years flat, because having a automatic weapon with the serial number scratched off is anywhere from 5 to 10 years flat federally if you catch drugs in the house. They caught drugs in the house. So he was looking at 10 years flat. They didn't even charge him with that. They didn't even charge him with that. That's a facade. Any prosecutor just coming out of school, and I wrote board cases for the state. The first charge we're going to put in there is the gun charge. Because the judge going to look at that. He was a convicted felon and he had guns? Now, Diddy wasn't a convicted felon at the time. But they're going to look at him. He had guns? And the guns were defaced? Oh, why is he defacing weapons? If he's a law-abiding citizen. If he's a law-abiding citizen, why is he defacing weapons? That's the first charge when you want somebody locked up that you're going to put on there. The second charge is going to be the drugs. The second charge is going to be the drugs. How much drugs they caught at the house, how much drugs they caught at the hotel. They're going to put all that stuff together. And they're going to say, he had this much drugs. They had this amount of drugs at his house and doing his arrest. They didn't put that. Then the next charge will be the sex abuse charge, I'm not sex abuse, the prostitution charges, that prostitution charge, stuff like that. And then maybe the Rico, how this ties into the Rico, and then the racketeering. The jury would have looked at that and say, yo, they caught the guns at his house. What security company gonna say, oh, that was our guns, you understand, and we filed off the serial numbers? What legitimate security company gonna go there and then do the 10 years for him? They didn't want him, bro. They didn't want him because he had still people in power. He still had enough information on a lot of different people. If you don't think this is Epstein and Diddy related, you out your mind, bro. Him and Diddy was working for the same people all these years. Diddy ain't did a damn song, but he's a music mogul. He ain't did a damn song that made any top 10 in what? In the last 10, 15 years, but he a music mogul. He was getting his money off alcohol. And by him getting his money off alcohol, those people in power that he was working for and doing the stuff for them, they wanted to slap his ass on the wrist. They wanted to let him know that shit that you talking, that stuff by calling us racist, that stuff about saying the stuff that he heard Tupac say, we want to show you. You know how they showed him? They took Cassie. Let me break this down to you, man. Cassie had been away from Diddy about what? 2011. Before she filed a lawsuit, about 7, 8 years. Don't quote me, because I could be wrong. But before she filed a lawsuit, she had been away from Diddy a considerable long time. She didn't file her lawsuit until Diagio had that. Him and Diagio was in court with each other. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't file a lawsuit to her and Diagio. Him and Diagio was in court with each other. Let's peep game. Now, Cassie filing this lawsuit. She get the top 3 lawyers in New York City. One lawyer that's over the LGBT. You understand? One lawyer that's human rights lawyer. Then she get one lawyer, the top lawyer that's in employment, right? And one of the top civil suit attorney. How could she afford those three lawyers? All these people have been trying to bring cases against Puff and a lot of dudes in the music industry. They don't take them because they know they hard to win money over. But she get the top three lawyers. Who gave her those lawyers? I want people to think. 9 times out of 10, some publicist or somebody who know those people in Diagio gave her those lawyers. Do you know why they gave her the lawyers? They gave her the lawyers because they have a clause in their contracts against Puff. Puff had a good suit against them, and I think he may have won. And if he win that suit, they owe him anywhere from maybe 400. Well, I know he's made like 400 million on that, but it came close to probably 1.2 billion to $2 billion. They would have owed him that money. So they get Cassie, you understand, to file a lawsuit against him, which was a civil suit. She files the civil suit. They pay the money. Now she gets money from Puff, legal, insurance or whatever like that, and the hotel, she gets money from them. All right, from them not doing what they supposed to do. So other people see that she got money, so they filed a lawsuit. I told this little dude, Lil Rod, and I said this way before he even came out and said anything. I said, if you look at Lil Rod's lawsuit, it reads like an indictment. And anytime the prosecutor, whether it's state or federal, want to take those civil lawsuits and see any criminality in it, they can bring the person up on charges if they find it legit. Now, he came out and said that the prosecutor, what did he say? Came out, the prosecutor said something. The federal prosecutor got in touch with him. He sat down with him. It's supposed to be 3 hours. It ended up being 4 days. And they brought charges up against Diddy and stuff like that. So now, they brought charges up against him, but they didn't bring charges up against him that would put him in jail for 5 or 10 years. They could have brought more witnesses, bro. Don't think that Gina didn't testify because they didn't want her and all this stuff like that. Because when they want you, ain't nowhere you can hide, brother. Not in the United States of America. Nobody. They put those marshals on you. You better not use no credit cards, no cell phones. You better not do anything. You better not be seen nowhere. They got facial recognition and all this shit like that. So if they wanted to bring more people in, they could have. But they just wanted to slap them on the wrist. Give them a felony because of what? Because in that Diageo contract, they have what you call it's a clause, and it's about what kind of clause is it? It's not a human rights clause. It's a character clause. Check out this. If you are guilty or found guilty of breaking any of those character clauses in that contract, Diageo don't have to give you a goddamn dime. Now, the federal government has just showed us that they all about business and they all about the tax, the business, and because this big business people use they people. to take this clown ass nigga to jail. All because they didn't want to pay him that $1.2 billion or that $2 billion and get him in that character clause so they could just drop everything. He didn't get a dime from them. The federal government took the taxpayers' money and did some service for their friends in big business. But Puff had friends too. So they said, okay, we ain't gonna send him to jail for a considerably long time. What we gonna do is we gonna slap him on the wrist and let him know. And that'll let the other ones know that doing shit for us too. Don't play games with us. Don't play games with us. Because all this shit was about money. And them not paying his money. Because if they wanted him to go to jail, if they wanted that nigga in jail, they would have hit him with those gun charges. They would have hit him with those drug charges. They would have brought the cook. They would have brought other people into court and not have us thinking, oh, we gonna do this Rico, we gonna do this racketeering. You only need 2 people. You only need 2 people. They could have brought in more people. They had more people. So all this was about the money. And that's why he's getting a slap on the wrist. This wasn't about justice. This wasn't about justice for Big. This wasn't about justice for Tupac. This wasn't about justice for Wolf Mother, Miss Wallace. This wasn't about justice for Cassie. This wasn't justice about nobody. This was all about these people not paying this motherfucker a dime, bro. And they used the federal government to do it. And the federal government used the taxpayers' money to do it.
You made a good point when it came to the lawyers. It does make you think how she was able to afford them 3 lawyers. 3 of the top lawyers in New York.
But brother, the good point is that it's not only the lawyers. How did she afford the lawyers? Because, New York lawyers, they very seldom do pro bono unless it's a car accident. You understand? Those cases don't come pro bono. Or if we get a dime, then you get some money too. Nah, it wasn't like that, bro. It wasn't like that at all. These people use the federal government. They call their people in high places. Man, we need to, if y'all don't do something about this cat, you understand? We got to give them $1.2 billion or $2 billion. This is the largest liquor company, spirit company in the world. They got friends in every part of government. They got friends in all countries. So what do? They call in their people. Well, we got them saying this. We got them doing this to Cassie. We got these tapes and everything. Man, come on, bro. This dude paid people to commit crimes. It's not a crime, bro, that to get a tape and tell somebody, here go 100,000. Don't show nobody that I beat that person on the tape. That's not a crime. And then they want us to believe. The only thing they could get him on, the only thing they can make jury believe that he did was promoting prostitution. And in promoting that prostitution, man, I don't know, in the state level, he might have to, if it was a state level, 9 times out of 10, he has to register as a sex offender. I don't know about the federal level, but I hope he had to register as a sex offender.
Why you hoping he got to register as a sex offender? That's a wild comment, yeah.
My man, I said, I hope he has to register as a sex offender. No friend of mine. Anybody who want to do me dirty, anybody who want to see me done, I don't care nothing about them. F them and feed them beans, bruh. F him. Anybody look like him, got his last name, and rode on a boat with him. I supposed to care about my enemy? I supposed to have some love for him? I supposed to turn the other cheek? Nah. I'm not doing none of the above. You wish me dead, you wish shit on me, you send niggas at me the whole 9 yards, and I supposed to have some love for you? Nah. I don't turn the other cheek, bruh. That's for you fun boys. That's for you dudes out there that want looking for friends, looking for followers, looking for fans. Nah, I'm from the Lou. I don't give a shit about you.